Commercial Break is back with yet another selection of classic gaming advertisements for your viewing pleasure, and this time around we're going to be focusing on the many Legends of Zelda. There have been some fantastic and not so fantastic commercials for the Legend of Zelda series, so many that I felt I could easily do an entire episode just featuring adverts for Nintendo's popular adventuring franchise. This time around I've picked a few commercials that I've seen here in the UK, but I've also found a whole load of adverts from all around the world, and I guarantee that you are going to love every single one of them. So please sit back and enjoy this concentrated dose of nostalgia. In the 80s, when you wanted your commercial to get noticed, you'd have a rap. Unfortunately, every other ad person in the industry had the exact same idea, and the 80s and early 90s were just filled with terrible rap-based commercials that had almost the exact same musical structure and are just cringeworthy. North America's advert for the original Legend of Zelda was no different, but it must have worked as the game was a gigantic success.
Did you see the latest Nintendo newsletter?
Whoa, nice graphics. I'd like to get my hands on that game.
You mean you haven't played it yet? We can play it on my Nintendo Entertainment System. It's the Legend of Zelda, and it's really rad. Those creatures from Ganon are pretty bad. Octoroks, Tektites, Levers too. But with your help, our hero pulls through. Yeah, go Link. Yeah, get Zelda.
Awesome.
Intense.
The Nintendo Entertainment System. Your parents help you hook it up. The Legend of Zelda sold 7.
Fast forward to the Super Nintendo era, where the series really came into its own with The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Everything about the game was massively improved over the previous 2 installments, and the result is one of the greatest games on the system, if not of all time. This was a massively epic quest, so it demanded a suitably epic commercial, and boy did Nintendo of America deliver.
This time it calls you to the ultimate battle of good against evil. To a quest few are prepared for, and fewer still survive. But perhaps now the power is within your grasp. It's the game that's already a legend. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Only on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with superpower.
Meanwhile, over in the Far East, the Japanese had a very different style of marketing for A Link to the Past, and I mean very different. I'm still not sure what to make of this one, but I guarantee that the soundtrack to this advert will probably get into your head even if you have no idea what they're actually saying. This entry is a 2 for the price of 1, as for the release of A Link Between Worlds, the 3DS spiritual successor for A Link to the Past, Nintendo brought back this particular jingle. Here are both of those adverts back to back. Last time I did a commercial break, I showed you one of a series of fantastic official Nintendo UK commercials featuring the late and very great Rick Mail. And I'm going to show you another one right now for the Game Boy release of Link's Awakening. It's very offbeat, doesn't really have too much to do with the game itself, but my word, is it entertaining.
Hi, Rick Mail here. I don't know if you're like me, immensely rich, talented, handsome. Isn't it a bore? Well, I found the answer. Zelda Link's Awakening from Nintendo. You play a medieval elf named Link.
You travel through many worlds, meeting endless characters on your eternal adventures.
So hey, next time you're Rick Mail, why not try Zelda Link's Awakening? I think you'll like it. Ciao.
Zelda, involving an inexhaustible Nintendo.
Meanwhile, for the North American marketing push for Link's Awakening, Nintendo of America once again delved into the rap genre, and once again it was especially terrible, but oh so very 90s.
Down with Zelda from the very start. I got the heart, it's Mars to play the part. Down with Zelda. Creeping through with an overhead view, cause a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. So I stay on track, collect the facts, never cut slack, and I always watch my back for Jack. Down with Zelda, yeah. Strong I stand, I'm the man with the plan, cause the power's in my head and the power's in my hand. Down with Zelda.
Here's another Link's Awakening commercial, and this time we're going to go over to see Japan's marketing efforts, and once again it is completely different but in a very cool way. Once again, I do not know what the hell is going on here, but there are puppets doing things and you can't help but love it.
どこから海の変な島こいつは夢か幻か島から全然出られないどうしようゼラゲームボーイでどこでもゼラゼルダの伝説夢を見る島出た
Back in the UK for the marketing push for the Nintendo 64's Ocarina of Time, the following advert was part of a campaign on both television and in magazines that was somewhat controversial, and as a result was pulled quite quickly and replaced. Not what you want for your big Christmas hits, although in the long run it didn't really harm the game at all. When it comes to commercial partnerships, does it get any stranger than The Legend of Zelda and the World Wrestling Federation? Majora's Mask featured as the prominent sponsor of the WWE's Armageddon pay-per-view, and as a result there was a special version of the game's advertising that was geared towards wrestling fans. A big deal considering this was right in the middle of the company's massively popular Attitude Era.
For The Legend of Zelda.
He's got 72 hours to save the world.
Stop what you're doing and log on to WWFZelda.com to learn more about The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask and to enter the WWF Zelda pay-per-view sweepstakes. Log on before it's too late. Rated E for everyone.
For the Game Boy Advance port of A Link to the Past, Nintendo also added Four Swords, the multiplayer Zelda game that was incredibly fun with friends, and it was this edition that the Japanese commercial for this release focused on. Once again, puppets were used to convey the fun nature of the game, and I just wish more adverts did this.
Game Boy Adverts. そして神々のトライフォースも2つの伝説が1本にゼルダの伝説神々のトライフォース &4 つの剣
We finished this look at Zelda commercials of the past with a genuinely heartwarming commercial that might make you just a little bit weepy, unless you don't have a soul. Now, it's semi-common knowledge the late Robin Williams was a big massive gamer, so much so that his children were named after video game characters, the most famous of course being Zelda Williams. For the 3DS port of Ocarina of Time, Nintendo used the pair in their marketing, making for a commercial that is truly different to any video game commercial you've ever seen, and became even more poignant after Robin's tragic death.
The first time I saw you, I knew we'd be linked forever. For you, I traveled to the four corners of the world. I faced adversity. I became a hero.
Dad.
I saved your kingdom.
Dad.
Yes, Zelda?
Are you mixing me up with the princess again?
Hard to say. You're both pretty magical. Simple question. Will you be the hero of time? Are you ready to save Princess Zelda in 3D? Be prepared. Watch out. Things around you. Things will be changing. Welcome back, old friend. No pressure.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this and want more, you can click this icon to subscribe, this icon to support me financially via Patreon, or these icons to watch more videos from my channel. Why not take a few seconds to answer the question of the week in the comments, or just let me know what you thought of this video. See you next week.